Aquaba, and welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Ayam, and this is Tony, and we are documenting our move from Texas to Ghana as we go beyond the return.
So in this video, we're coming back to that conversation.
Yeah, we opened up a can of worms when we started talking about Blacks and Africans and how they feel towards one another.
Right.
There were literally thousands and thousands of comments on that video, and some of them were not so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this video, we're coming back to that conversation, talking about misconceptions and if Blacks and Africans get along.
Yeah, so with that said, let's get this video started. Okay, so I have to put this out there first off. This is our disclaimer, okay? Absolutely. We've gotten to the point now where we have to do disclaimers. These conversations come from our personal experience and the experiences of people that we know in real life and online throughout the world. None of what we say is the universal idea of all Black Americans, all Africans, or all expats.
Exactly. This isn't a catch-all. It's a conversation from our point of view.
Yes, but before we get into the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I totally have to jump into comments and say hello to some people first.
Okay.
I saw there were some folks that were in there for a while. Hey guys, Genevieve, how you doing? Lucky, nice to see you. Deborah, you were right up there from the first, right? Getting in the get-go. Yeah. Good to see you guys.
All right, waiting from LA, Tiffany. All right, thanks for jumping in. Deborah Price, Dallas, Texas, D-Town.
Hey.
Percy and Carla. Hey, Percy, my man. It was absolutely wonderful hanging out with you. I know who Percy is. Alaska, Charles Yaw. Hey, how you doing?
You could be at the beach if you were in Ghana.
Hey. Jacqueline Martin Dijon, waiting from Ohio.
LA in the house. Oh, nice. Greetings from New Orleans.
Big Easy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm missing that place.
Yeah, I think your stomach is missing that place.
Fried catfish gumbo.
Well, we're so thankful for you guys that are in the chat. Hopefully people will be able to keep this conversation going with us.
Right, absolutely.
So we have a couple of quick updates before we get started. First off,
we have a live event. Finally, is back.
It's been a really long time.
Yeah, oh wow. Let's see, since November.
Yeah. Since November. Oh my gosh, that is really long.
COVID. Oh wow, yeah, COVID. All right, you must be in the Facebook group to get the details. You can join us by following the link in the description.
Absolutely. This is an RSVP type event, so please make sure you get your spot and join us. We would love to see you there.
Yes, the meet and greet will be May 8th. So if you're in Ghana, I guess we'll be seeing you soon.
As an additional update, a couple of videos ago, we stopped over and visited the folks over at Hope Setters, which is the only autism school here in Tema. And we asked you guys in our last live to make some donations, and you guys did that in such force. It was so great to be able to go there and give money and interview them and kind of get their message out. And they're already seeing impact. Absolutely.
Since sharing, others have come and visited and donated to Quisha and her mother.
Yes,
stopped by.
Awesome.
They
brought Play-Doh.
Yeah, they came with gifts. I think there was a monetary donation as well.
She collected it from several of her friends back stateside. So if you are watching right now and you are thinking, hey, I can't go, but I have friends who are going, send a few bucks. Consider the autism school or any other worthy cause here in Ghana. They really do appreciate it. And we also had some spotted. This month has gotten busy. It's clear that travel restrictions are starting to lighten up a little bit because we had a ton of folks coming through.
We couldn't get to everybody, but honestly, I did my best to try to see as many people as I could. So first shout out to Derek Love. He's still in town. His wife, Kawana, their friend Charles, or cousin, I believe. It was real nice to hang out with you guys. They got BurgerFied.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Victor and his wife and family and his beautiful mother were in town. We were able to hang out with them for a little bit. Leon and Stacy. Leon, it was great hanging out with you, man. Always great to have a club with a friend like you. And let me tell you, hope you're enjoying Ghana. Also, Percy and his wife. Shout out to Percy and Miss Carla. How are you doing? To Quisha and her mother. Hung out with them for a little while.
That was fun. I actually went. Okay, so if you guys don't know, as you can tell, Tony is the extrovert because he met all of these people.
Yes.
And I stayed at home. So sorry, you guys, if you come into town and you're like, I would really love to meet you both, and you get Tony and not me, it is not personal. I prefer. I am an introvert. So
me on the other hand, Cold Club, I'm coming.
That is all you need to bribe this.
I have to stop saying that.
You should. Hey, the people over at Club, we expect some sort of endorsement. Kickbacks we need. But it's been really great. I did get to meet Taquisha and her mom. That was really nice. And Kwaku and Mabel, extra special. Thank you for the macaroni and cheese that you gave to Leo. He literally hugged the boxes.
Absolutely.
Like,
he was like, they're mine. They're all mine.
He has also eaten half of what you've given him already, and it's only been like a week.
And that's a shame. Our clothes from the last live were spotted too.
Yeah, I have to say, there was somebody up here in the comments already that another great live event from the two favorite people. Yes. And they were commenting on the clothes as well. We kind of always get comments on
comments on the clothes.
Yeah, here we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, you are shining today.
I love that. There's always lots of positive comments about the clothes. So we have to take a second to make sure that we give a shout out. The one thing I have to say is that working in kind of conservative corporate America for so long, I feel like I was always wearing blue, like navy blue and black and gray. And it's fun to get dressed here where you can put on colors and like it's like no big
there's no deal. It's just
no big deal. It's
look at her shining.
It's kind of crazy. So the clothes that we wore in the last live were from Alpha Afrique, and their info is in the description box. They have a physical store.
Yes, they have a shop in East Legon. Yep. You can find them on Instagram. Plus, they ship internationally.
They are responsible for the head wrap and the earrings. So if you are clothes hesitant, these are really great options to get yourself started.
Yeah.
I was wearing the Africa ones last time, but I really like these ones. These might be my new favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Any comments on this one? I do like them.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Percy, when he was in town, stopped through, as well as Taquisha, they stopped through. So thank you so much for going to visit our friends at Alpha Afrique.
Yeah, I love their ready-made clothes. I have to tell you, ladies, because
go ahead, do your thing.
I know this is weird. I would not usually stand up. But can I tell you that there are pockets on this outfit? Like all of the dresses get little pockets.
Spin around, baby, spin around.
I can't. I'm mic'd up, so I can't spin. I can only half spin. But pockets on dresses make me so happy. Okay, so sorry. That was it, I promise.
All right.
So to the beautiful couple over at Alpha Afrique, thank you so much. You make clothes that make me happy.
Absolutely.
And I love
stunning.
Thanks, Juan. Thanks so much.
Okay, so let's get this one started.
Oh my gosh, I'm kind of nervous. Let's pop in comments and say hi and be happy for a few minutes.
Let's say hi before we have people wanting to jump through the screen and kill us.
Well, I think so, yes. We did get some positive praise. Thank you, Bernard, for getting us started off on a positive note and giving us some props. We do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We have somebody else who's letting us know that they are coming in June. Yay! Ooh, June till September.
Oh, wow.
Dolores, that's a nice trip.
That's a real nice trip.
Do you remember the first time you came and it was like, I don't want to stay like 2 weeks? I was like, what?
And the second day I was like, I wish I would have made this trip longer. So yeah, absolutely. Great to have a long trip.
Totally true. I've got a couple people who are yesing the pockets. Nerdy Girl Travel.
Yes,
love your channel, by the way. And yes, pockets on the clothes. That is literally my favorite thing. My sister actually takes her off the rack clothes in the States to a tailor to have pockets added on things because she's like,
You have to have pockets.
You have to have pockets, ladies. You understand. Hello, a couple other highs. Giselle, how you doing? Henry,
hey,
thank
Giselle,
you.
How are you?
Henry, nice outfits. Thank you very much.
Yay, your
Joy.
clothes are beautiful. Joy Williams, thank you.
Totally.
Alan V or W, very beautiful clothes, sis. Yes.
Thank you.
Looking good, yo.
Percy.
Oh, Percy, Big Tony, it was a blast hanging out with you and having a few of those cold drinks and showing me around town. It was a blast, Percy. I can't wait to see you back here in Ghana.
Absolutely.
And bring your wife with you. I will have a glass of water with her.
Yeah, hey, you just started watching. Welcome to the channel. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for
my husband and I with our kids will be there in June. Absolutely can't wait.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you.
Good. And tell the little fellas we haven't forgotten about them.
All right, mac and cheese and games. All right, descendants from Africa. We'll definitely let them know.
You've got one here. I have to put it up. Giselle is saying.
Hi, Poppy. Hey, Giselle. How you doing, sweetie?
Somebody's letting us know that they love us, guys. Thank you so much. The clothes are beautiful. Yay, yay, and double yay. So I got somebody else who can't wait to come. Yes. Hi from Japan.
Oh,
hello.
Wow.
Good to see you. Greetings from the UK.
Wow,
and I got
out there.
And I have
clean shave. Yes, no goatee. Thank you. Somebody finally noticed it. Absolutely. Yeah,
you gotta mix it up for me.
Yeah, throw something a little different at her,
Yeah, just for fun. Hey, from the UK, we've got someone in here from Munich. Hey.
Munich, Germany.
Yes. Hi, Melanie. How you doing? Compton, GA, Maryland. It's all over. Atlanta.
Yeah.
We've got Yabo saying hi right from here.
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
How you doing? Some more people from Atlanta and Alabama.
Got
a little accent when I said that one. Frankfurt is watching. We've got people from all over. So,
wow.
We've got some people who are ready to see us go ahead and get started.
Okay, yeah. So, they're like, all right, let's go.
I know. As Kwame said, let's get it on. It is time for some uncomfortable
truth.
Oh. You kind of called that one, didn't you?
Yeah. All right. Well.
I am going to preface this too and let you guys know the stream is coming fast and furious. So excuse me if I'm a little behind, but let's talk about the last video.
All right. Well, there were 3 types of people who responded in the comments on the last video.
It was 2 ago.
Oh, two ago. Yeah, 2 videos ago. Yeah.
There were 3 types of people. So the first person was the person who was the total denial of pretty much any other perspective other than their own. And the response went something like this. I'm an African and we love everyone. Or I'm an American and I've been to Africa and they love everyone. Thank you for your perspective.
Yes. Second, we're in total agreement with the title. Oh, they hate us. They got rid of us. And that's from the American side. And then from the African side, it was, they think they're above us. They treat us so bad. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, but what was interesting was how many people were upset about the hate conversation without getting into the video and hearing that we're having a conversation about misconceptions.
Yeah, they didn't hear the conversation. They just went off the title. Oh, how dare you with the title. And, it was a catchy title, but the content is what I think our people in the diaspora needed to hear.
Well, and that's what's real. So I'll tell the third thing. The third type of comment that we got were people who were like, we know exactly what you mean. That's the same kind of experience that we had.
Right. Whether it was on the American African side or the Black American side or the African side, they were like, yeah, we understand what you're saying. We get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that we picked this topic because at every month, we get people who ask us either by email or Facebook or Messenger or WhatsApp. Like they're getting to us, I don't even know how many ways, that ask us a question that sounds like this. I am a blank. will I be accepted in Ghana?
Right.
I mean, and fill in the
Fill
blank.
in the blank.
I am
a light-skinned American.
Yep.
I'm black, married to a white person. I'm Japanese. And it was like everybody.
And so it really felt like we needed to have a conversation of people in the US who think that there's hate need to understand that it's not like, oh, they just hate us. That's not it. So we were trying to have
misunderstood on both ends.
We're trying to have a conversation to alleviate people who think that this weird narrative is accurate.
Right.
That the misconceptions are true.
Yes. However, there were two things everyone could agree on.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, we got everybody agree on this. They were like, absolutely. Yes. The first, the colonial wigs need to go. That was the first thing. Okay, in the video, we talked about, these colonial wigs that they wear in court, from the judges to the lawyers. They wear these.
The white, like what you see
Think of George Washington's hair, and then that's a wig of what they wear on top of there.
On top of like the ladies in braids.
Yeah.
And with this wig like balanced.
Yeah. Leftover remnants that need to go.
Yeah, everybody agreed that was like,
that was
not a thing.
No.
There was one other thing that people kind of agreed on, surprisingly.
And what was that?
The trotros. They were kind of like, yeah, you get in a trotro, you're putting your life in your driver's hands, and those are not always good hands to be in.
Yeah.
That's kind of dangerous.
Well, not even if you're riding with them, how many near misses oh my goodness. They aren't in a lot of accidents, but they cause plenty.
Oh my gosh. So I have to ask though, are you going to get in a trotro? Like, in order to say that you have fulfilled the Ghanaian experience, I feel like you're going to have to get in a trotro.
Yeah, when the trucks break down or something, and everybody's phone is dead. Yeah, I'm going to take it.
Exactly one block. You're like, okay.
I did the trotro. Yeah.
All right, so let's get back in.
No, I'm not riding the trotro.
From the States to Africa, hey, from Houston to Ghana. Following us,
right? All right. A lot of African-American brothers in Germany. They're a brother like me, to me. The problem, we don't have a lot of conversation about ourselves as Black people. You are right about that.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know that, I feel like that's not unique to just the fact that you're in Germany. I feel like there's not a lot of conversation about Blackness. That's not this like universalness of it. So I totally am that. Somebody else is saying, don't you favor having interest with you? Okay, back in school, I had to watch Amadeus.
With the white wigs. Oh.
Yeah, so the white wigs, that was definitely.
No trotro for me. I know. It's cheap, but not worth it.
Trotro. I gotta tell you, when they pull off the side of the road, it legit makes me feel like they make me nervous. But.
Yeah, and then when they pull out, it's like, yeah, cars are coming, but I'm just going to pull out.
Yeah, I kind of when we're driving, I kind of take a moment to not look at the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stay out of that altogether. Well, I think the big thing that was the takeaway from all of the comments and all of the reaction was that the largest part of this African-American Black conversation is really misconceptions.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it feels like it's mostly misconceptions.
Yeah, I agree. So drop in the chat. What are some misconceptions you have or have heard about Black American or Africans? Let's have this conversation.
I'm afraid to have this conversation. Because the misconceptions are a real thing.
Bring it on.
Okay, so I'm going to start with I feel like we're going to define some terms. Can you tell I'm an educator? We need to define some terms because it's really interesting to me how people choose to define themselves when it comes to race and how this conversation is really connected to kind of all of our brown and Blackness, right? But when we talk about being a person of color, especially as part of this American narrative, right? Like to be a person of color includes Asians, Hispanics, Blacks, like we're all
everybody
people of color. And even when we use the terms Asian and Hispanic and Black, these terms obviously are kind of from checking boxes in America.
Right. It's
they're just
old way of identifying people.
I call them clumpers.
Yeah.
Because they just like clump a whole section of people together and
like if you're Japanese or China or Thailand, you're Asian.
Which is crazy. Like you could be from Japan or the Philippines or Thailand, which are not even places that are
right.
And you're Asian. Or someone from Argentina and Spain being clumped in with Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, and Puerto Ricans like, no, I'm none of that. I'm Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans like, you're like Mexican, right? No. I'm Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans, I give it to them. They're like,
Puerto Rico's like part of the United States, which is.
But they're Puerto Ricans.
But they're not.
And it's like, so you're American? Yeah. No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Like I think if you ask a mainland American, I don't think they would tell you Puerto Rico was part of America.
No.
So.
No, it's not. That's a destination spot. So
yeah.
They don't
and they're all labeled as Hispanic, right? Or Latino, Latinx, which was supposed to be reserved for people that were actually in Latin America, but now I don't know how that label works. And then there's the Black label. We're talking about.
That's a coverall for anybody with tan to dark. The paper bag thing, that's a coverall. And even on that. Then if your hair is too kinky, you're Black.
Well, and the whole part of it thinking like that's Africans, African American. Okay, so Africans would be like, we're talking Egyptians and Kenyans and Nigerians.
All South American or Africans?
Yeah, so South Africans, all of that is Africans. And then, American Blacks are African Americans.
Right.
Which I always thought was a weird term. But the term has come through what? How many terms have we had?
Well, we've had colored, Negro,
the not so pleasant version of Negro, right? Like
African American,
right?
Black American.
It's a long list, and then we started to capitalize the B of
Black,
and then there was a whole conversation about should then the W of white be capitalized.
Ooh. No, let's not do that.
And then Black also encompasses people in Haiti, the Dominican, and the Caribbean.
Absolutely. Black in America versus African in America
are two different things.
Absolutely. Like my wife and I have totally different experiences of our Blackness. Me from I'm Black American and my history is different than hers. I'm African American African American, and you're a direct descendant of Africa. You're like, oh yeah, my dad's Nigerian Ghanaian.
Did you always think of yourself as an African American before the term African American was around, or did you just always think of yourself as a Black person, and then when African American became the term, you're like, I guess I'm checking this box?
Yeah, status quo. But always, I never took, like, somebody would make a negative comment to me about, you from Africa. Yeah. Oh, okay, fine, that's good, great.
Wait, as an adult or as a kid?
As a kid, as an adult, how old people are. I'm like, hey, I'll take that because some of the greatest minds have come from Africa. They're still trying to figure out how they built those pyramids. So, I know.
Well, so let's jump into comments. We've kind of thrown out this clumper idea, and I want to kind of get a feedback of how people are feeling about that. So excuse me while I get into these, and I have to read a little bit because you guys are really in it to win it. We have someone here who is should Afro-Americans, that was a thing.
Yeah, Afro-American, Afro-American. Oh, that was like the late 70s. Yeah.
Should they realize there's a bit of tribalism and just accept it and move on? Better yet, still better than race relations in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to get into that one.
Yeah, absolutely better than that.
That one's
African-American youth are
misconception, right?
Like, wow.
We asked for misconception.
Yeah, I'm like, hey.
Yes, right? Yeah. And I think that's really interesting because that is a misconception that not only is international, but as a teacher, I've met plenty of educators who have the same belief about African Americans in general. Right. So I'm with you. Live sports streaming, I'm totally with you.
I understand that.
As people, we can't progress until we deal with the white elephant in the room. It is a really big white elephant. Well, mostly it's gray. Let's not classify it by color. Let's just say it's an elephant.
It's an elephant, and it's in a room. Okay, Mr. Shep, I've constantly been told Africa in general has a bit of financial shakedown on foreigners. Yeah, any foreign country you go to and they recognize you're a foreigner, oh yeah, you're on the hit list. They're coming for you. The pickpocketers, the phone. I mean, they're coming for you. If you leave your house or your apartment, or they're coming for you. You're a foreigner.
Yeah.
It doesn't just.
It's like if you were a tourist anywhere else, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you've gone on a cruise and you've gotten off the ship in whichever destination you landed at, you were hyper aware of the things around you because as a tourist, you're coming into a different area. But that is the shakedown, or that is the misconception. And another one that they do that has not served us well is those Nigerian princes asking for money.
Talk about that.
Oh, we won't. We'll lighten it up here.
Yeah.
This question came out if we're going to Kumasi. We've not yet, but we are going.
Yes, absolutely. Another problem, whilst African Americans are fighting for civil rights, Native Africans are also fighting for their independence.
Yeah.
I think now is the time to learn more about Pan-Africanism. It's a big deal right now. PanFest is coming up, by the way.
Yes.
Sometime in July. So you people get on that and Google PanFest, Ghana.
Yes, please. We'll be seeing you soon. Hey, Ms. Khan, how you doing? Hellos, miss yous, and she's graduating from what?
Yeah, I know. Wow, Kai is graduating.
She's only 7.
Hey, T, by the way.
On a side note, after that government hospital experience video, it further confirms not to get in the structure.
Double whammy on that one.
Yes. We are Natives, Foundational Black Americans. I think there's a lot of loadedness in our labels, right?
Yeah.
This one, I think, Percy, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a second because I completely agree with you, right? People come to Ghana with no conception of Africans because our perception of that comes from National Geographic.
Mm-hmm. Tarzan movies.
Oh no, you didn't.
I did. I'm keeping it real, right? Keep it real.
Those like Save the Children telethons. Do you remember?
What was that Sally Struther videos? Yeah.
Yes. And you are right. What amazed you the most were the sizes of the houses. You are not even joking.
Yeah, you're like, oh, is that an apartment? Oh, that's one man's house.
One man's house. Mm-hmm. Dolores, you've been here twice, and people were very receptive. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think part of that is how you present to the world.
Yeah, it's what you're projecting that you're getting back.
Yeah.
So you come here and you're respectful and conscious of a different culture.
Yeah.
You're gonna do great.
So I appreciate this question. The background of my mom, never heard you talk about her. I talk about my mama. No, I'm just kidding. In that same video, I mentioned that my mom is French Canadian and Irish, and I could actually trace back that side of my family like hundreds of years. Yeah. And I made a comment about being Irish, and I think people were like, "No, you're not Irish," and I was like, "Yeah." Yeah,
like that's our grandfather. I hung out with him. Or the grandparents. I know. Red.
And I don't know if you can see
the freckles.
Do they? No, I mean, not that makes me Irish, but I do like to point out that I have them. So what I really think is interesting when you talk about this checkbox clumping experience is that when I was growing up, what box did you check when you were asked to check a box?
The one for Black people. Well, whatever the box that was during that time.
Yeah. So
and what box did you check?
I checked multiple boxes because how do you stand in a place as a child or a young adult or a teenager or anyone and say, I have to pick whether I'm going to be this side of my family or this side of my family? And it's very interesting to me, this box clumping idea in America, where we have to put you in a box, and there are so many people that are more than one box. So for a while we checked other, because I was like, well, my mom was very open to having this conversation with me. I was like, well, I'm like, well, I'm not that and I'm not that, so I guess I'm other sign. For a while I checked the black box. A couple of times I checked the white box, because I was like, you know what?
I need this job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. And my mom is probably watching out there. Hey, Mom. The term African American is used for Africans, which I don't think it should be, but there are things are always changing. Yeah. It seems like African American should be used for
all of us.
You think so?
Why not?
Why is it not just American? Like, if you and your parents and your grandparents and your great grandparents.
But see, now down there, they have this culture. They're aware of their heritage, and the Afro Mexicans and all that. I mean, it's different. The Black American experience is the most unique in the entire world, I think.
It is.
It is.
It's a cluster.
Yeah, it really is.
And a dumpster fire.
And people, I mean, take it as it is. People just don't understand it. They look at it. Oh, you have all these, advantages and opportunities, and really, for every opportunity as a Black American, there's like 15, 20 of them pulling you back. So it's a very unique. I mean, because in some of the South American countries where you can be fine hair and blue eyes and the white skin tone, and then you could be just dark and you're the same. They don't. There's no difference between them, but it's very different for Black Americans, because there's no way in the world that a blonde hair, blue eyed person like, oh yeah, I'm Black. No, you're not.
Okay, so
my
nephew.
But then,
my nephew is a blonde hair, blue eyed African, like descendant of Africa.
It's
genetics are a funny thing, y'all.
It really is.
Yeah, like when you see my brothers and sisters and all of our kids, you cannot.
You can't say whose parent is who.
You really can't, because there's life.
Except for Luke and Leo, they're like, "That's your boy. That's your boy."
But you know what? If you took the parents out and you divided up all the kids and you say which one are brother and sisters to which one, I think people would naturally revert to, well, let's put the light skinned kids together and the dark skinned kids together, and that's not how they roll. And they are the blonde haired, blue eyed kid is a quarter like straight descendant of West Africa. His grandpa's African.
And his mother is darker than you.
It's true.
Yeah.
So there is that. Somebody said that Black came around because James Brown did it to us.
Real loud. I'm Black and I'm proud.
I totally do. They do it here in Japan too. We get charged. I bet you do.
Oh, wow.
I bet you do. I mean, I feel like there's a tourism piece of that. The trying to take advantage. We have someone who said we need people from the diaspora to get on code and assist in dismantling white supremacy globally. And
here we are.
We're trying. We got yelled at a lot, but we're really trying.
The comments were very hurtful. And
some of your
they were, I was like, all right, after I'm done with this.
I had to tell you to stop. I was like, you know what? You should not answer anymore on these comments. We'll just put a kibosh on that one. Maybe we can turn them off. I'm not sure. Mark, all of this is confusing.
Yeah, that's why we need to talk about it.
But you know what? I feel like it is really confusing. And it's confusing as people standing in these places, right? I mean, for me as a kid, it was always confusing because of how I was being labeled and how I never felt like the label was fitting. The label never fit me.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever felt like the label was the right thing for you, or you've always felt like.
Well, no, because the label kept changing. I was like,
didn't even care.
Yeah.
And I think that's, that's part of the confusion too, is that.
And see, that's something that you didn't have that I experienced was you were African American and you knew that. So being born in 70, it was, Negro, Afro American, Black American, colored. Yeah, it was all these things. So in 50 years, I've been labeled by my government as
a lot of different things.
And you're like, I'm just this. I'm all these other things they say.
Yeah, I mean, I think you really make a good point when you talk about us as an example of how complex being labeled as Black is, right? Because you're Black, I'm Black, and my dad was Black, right?
Yeah.
You have a completely different relationship with how the world treats you as a Black man, and not just because you're a man, but like as a Black person. Me, I didn't even realize that this was
a thing.
I mean, I knew it was like a thing, but I didn't realize it was like the thing until I was much older. I mean, we had a multicolored family. We all got along. I didn't understand it. I was proud of being African. I was proud of the people on my Irish and French Canadian side. Like I was brought up to be proud all along. And I don't know if that's universal for everyone.
Yeah. Well, we've had our ups and downs in the States. So, we wanted to be proud, and they were like, there'll be none of that.
But then my dad is an immigrant and a successful one. Like, he was pulled over in his own driveway in his suburban. That was in the 90s. His own driveway in the suburbs. He was pulled over in his own driveway. It was a longer driveway, but like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
And I don't want you to judge that journey either, because people will hear that and hear that I lived in the suburbs and hear the way I talk and assume a certain experience. When my dad and my mom were first getting started, when I tell you we lived in the hood, I lived in where the ghetto
grew up in 53206. She was, yeah. We both come from 53206. Me, I was born and raised, but her, she was.
It was a temporary.
Second and center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Everybody from Wisconsin. Oh my God. Oh, she Black. No, the African is gone now. Her, she Black. No.
But I mean, it really does say something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've had quite the experience. So
I feel like it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put this comment up. We're not Africans. That's why we hate.
We hate it.
We hate it. Do you think that it's true? Like, Blacks have a resentment towards Africans because they're called Africans and they don't feel African?
I don't know. I've heard this, that as a Black American, I don't know who I am. I have no identity. Everything about me was given to me from a white man. My God. I guess when it comes to identity or citizenship, I could agree to that. But when it comes to my own identity, I recognize I'm African. When it comes to my citizenship, I'm American. But I'm not considered African American. I've read enough books and been in enough schoolrooms to know that, hey, I know there's a slave trade and my descendants were part of that. So yeah, I'm African. I know where I'm from. And people say, yeah, but you've generations and generations of being in America. And my response to that is, if I was born in a garage, would I come out of the garage and say, hey, I'm a Cadillac Broham? Would I do that? Are you a Cadillac Broham if you were born in a garage?
Like to think you were a GTO.
A GTO? Oh, Pontiac GTO? All right. Thank you, baby. All right. So I guess my point is, you can be born in a garage, but that doesn't make you a car. me being born in America doesn't make me American. What is it to be American, for one? Doesn't make.
And I have to. I'm totally cutting you off again, but it's like in my African mind, and based on conversations that I've knowingly had with other people who are like born and raised Africans. Yeah, you're American. You're American, dude. You were born in America. You're American.
I'm American.
And I think that's like, and that's the misconception of it, right? Like as a Black American, which I think is, I know we're not trying to like split terms here, but I really feel like being a Black American is just different than, it's not African American and this label of being African American. Haitians are African Americans, and people who are from Germany but have Black ancestry are African Americans. It seems, but you say yes, you're African.
I'm African by identity. I'm American by citizenship. How about that?
But wait, did you think of yourself as African before the DNA test and meeting me and coming here?
Yeah, absolutely.
You did. Like that was something that like was part of our dream. It was part of, like, you really felt that.
Well,
see, I find all of this to be so interesting because,
and that's because I'm like, well, as I look around, there was the Native Americans, and they were from there, and I didn't look like them, so I see somebody from the Volta region of Ghana, and I'm like, huh, I guess I know where I'm from.
So you think that there's this colonial mentality that's still really strong in Africa. Lisa's GTO. Hello. How did I just say GTO?
You did just say GTO.
The concept that white is better is still there.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's not so subliminal in some cases. So
yeah. So all African Americans or Black Americans have mixed heritage. Well, and that's interesting because, like, I don't consider myself to have mixed heritage, but I am a African American or a Black American because I was born in America, right? Right? Or is that not how we're defining the terms?
I don't know how to answer that. You are who you identify yourself as. How about that? But back to my point, I was saying, not knowing, like, I can't say where I'm from because I didn't go that deep into the DNA thing, but not knowing, a lot of Africans are like, you don't know who you are. I'm like, okay, great, but I recognize I'm not that. I recognize, people who look like me aren't the indigenous people to America,
Who are the indigenous people to America? Different conversation.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that.
Thanks for the love, Lisa Marie. Good conversation. We appreciate that. America Black are from America. Okay, well,
that's sweet.
Yep. How I wish Black people could stop this geographical definition amongst themselves. You are one people and one family.
Well, yeah.
I totally like. I get the sentimentality of that, but it's just not true. Is that just me thinking that? No. Maybe not. Somebody else in the comments, I'm sure, will comment on that one.
No, we're not all one people. I mean, you can tell from just bone structure of our people, we're all different. Tribal, different tribes. There's a lot of things that makes us different as Black people. If you look at, Eastern African and a Western African, they're still African, but they're very different physically.
Well, and culturally, and the way that they like mentality, they're just different people.
Yeah, you can't. I can't agree with that. They're different.
Yeah,
African is universal, but being one people, it's like.
Yeah, I feel like that is a hard one. I feel like we have to be unified together as people of color globally, and say that this era where we're made to feel less than or undeserving or marginalized, it's done. Let's all collectively say we're going to move past that and get there. But it's hard to get there when it also feels like there's still forces that are trying to divide instead of have a conversation to clear up misconceptions. And hopefully we're doing a little bit of that tonight, I hope.
Yeah.
Agree with you, Tony. It doesn't matter where you're born. Your citizenship is your place of birth. However, your genetics, your roots, etc.
All right, thank you.
Are African period. We've got somebody else who says we are not one people.
Exactly.
But that's true. And the labels try to make us all one people.
We're one people as the human race.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. We've got somebody else who says, what about the color of the skin that doesn't match the color of the thoughts and spirits? Oh.
Ooh, like all
there's so much
kinfolk and kinfolk.
Yeah. What is that? That's the thing people say.
All skinfolk and kinfolk. You ain't heard that?
Oh my God.
That's the difference between Black American and African American. You see? We know what. No.
Yeah.
Something like that. I heard that.
You got me.
Now the people are like, oh, I'm using that. That is so old.
Colorism among American Blacks and those of Latin descent is real. You know what though? There's even colorism among like Hispanics and Latin. I want to say Latinx, but I feel like that is also a term that I don't know if I want to use. But Hispanic and Latinx people globally, colorism is a thing in so many subsects of people who are persons of color.
Yeah.
Somebody else was saying we're not African Americans. That sounds dumb.
Interesting. Well, who isn't African American? Is she not an African American, or am I not an African? Who?
I don't know. All I know is when you get pulled over, you just
black.
You want to tell the story about you getting pulled over?
With you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're traveling from Wisconsin back to Texas.
Yeah.
We had a rental car. Southern Illinois. Stopped to get some gas, maybe about 2 or 3 in the morning, fill up. And as we're walking into the station to get some snacks, there's a police officer there doing security, night security. And he starts talking on his walkie-talkie as I'm coming into the store. And when I enter the store, he gets off. And I thought to myself, that's different. Nobody else in the store, nobody else around, I guess.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I'm like, who's he talking to? So my antennas went up, and about 2 minutes later, I see a squad car drive by the store. I'm like, okay. And actually, it was in the gas station lot. So he drove through the lot, and without a doubt, I'm sure he had time to run the plates. And when we're coming out, I asked Io, I'm looking around, I said, did you see where that police car went?
Okay, so now here's the difference in experience, right? I never saw the police car, never saw the officer in the store. I didn't pay any attention to that. I didn't know what you were even talking about. I was like, I don't know.
Black American, African American.
Yeah, but like I'm not getting robbed right now, so I don't know why I would be in need of an officer.
So, I was driving before, so you started driving.
So when we pulled into the gas station, you were behind the wheel.
I was driving.
And then when we left out, I was behind the wheel.
You were driving.
Mm-hmm.
So?
How long after we pulled out did I get pulled over?
Not even 60 seconds.
Right, gas station, on-ramp. I got pulled over on the on-ramp. And I was like, for what?
And I would go, that's where that second cop or that cop car went. It was hiding over there. I was looking around looking for him. I was like, I know he's coming for us. He's going to try to find something.
That man said that I didn't signal coming out of the driveway of the gas station onto the feeder road. And I was like,
it was a dirt road, feeder road.
It was, I thought it was like, you could even say it was part
like
of a gas station.
Yeah.
I signaled onto the main road and onto the on-ramp. What? So I was a little irritated. You had gotten a snack at that gas station.
Yes, I did.
And you sat in that passenger seat eating said snack.
Yes, I did.
Like you were watching.
Yeah, I never saw my wife get pulled over, and I never saw her in a situation where her blackness was being challenged or questioned or was an issue. And I didn't think she knew what was happening.
I didn't.
And so that's why it was very interesting to me, because I'm like, this is like a show for me at this point, because I'm like, she doesn't know she's getting pulled over for being black.
And why? Well, because that was not.
It was like it was a moment for us, you know. When
that was a moment for you. It wasn't after the conference done, and I was like, "What was that?" He was like, "It's because you're black, and then I'm black, and we're driving the car while black." And I was like, "Really? That what?" Mm-hmm. But they really did. They wanted your license.
Yeah. So they asked you, "Oh, whose car is a rental car?" Okay. Well, the car was in my name. So, well, who's this guy? Well, that's my husband. On the title or the
on the
rental agreement, yeah. And well, I'm gonna need his ID. And no, you don't. I didn't say that, but in my mind, like
I said that because I was like, why do you need his ID if I'm driving? Like, I don't understand why you need that ID. Well, the rental agreement says I don't think if I'm the one that's behind the wheel and you just were
yeah. I just wanted to see what, and you know, being a former police officer, I knew that I didn't have to give him my ID. I knew that the plates were good. It was insurance. There was nothing wrong with the vehicle. She did nothing illegal at that time, other than this alleged you didn't signal from the dirt or go onto the dirt road. That he needed any information from me as a passenger of the vehicle. Well, I didn't think she knew that. So me, I'm like, okay, hey, I just want to get this over. I sure did because
I was like, he shouldn't have. He doesn't need it, and he shouldn't have had it. And you were like, it is 2:00 in the morning in the middle of Podunk, Illinois. I'm going to give him my ID because it's the weekend, and I can't get myself bailed out till.
And I didn't know where we were, other than that was a big enough gas station to pull into safely. And turns out it wasn't all that safe because that guy wanted to know who I was really bad.
And again, like this is just part of when, like it kind of feeds back into it, right? As an African or an immigrant kid, right? I was never, my dad was never, I was never brought up with this mentality of because you're black. ...
Yeah.
Because you're black, ... fill in the blank. So in this situation, because you're black, you're a suspect.
Yeah. And me, on the other hand, growing up in 53206, I can tell you, my dad had some conversations with me about how to conduct myself. And one particular conversation was, it had to have been like 78, 80, something around there. A young man named Ernest Lacey lost his life while in police custody. Very controversial death at the time. And I remember there being marches, and my mother participated in one of the marches, and I was right there with her. And it was a conversation about conducting myself with the police, how to do that, and things like that. And that's an experience that, you know, I had to think about, you know, how to be around police, notice that the police are noticing you, to make sure, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong for him to, you know, want to have a conversation with me. She grew up totally oblivious to that. And that's why that stop was so entertaining to me, because I was like, oh, wow, she ain't never been put over for being black before. This is going to be great. Yeah. Yeah. But definitely that time with me, you definitely were. That was the only reason why they stopped you.
Well, and for me, as now the second gen coming and raising our kids, hearing your experience and knowing that that was how they were going to have to live their life if we stayed in the US was definitely part of the conversation that we had to have in terms of coming here. And so for those of you who have that feeling of trying to mentally prepare the speech you have to give your kids so that they can live in America,
it's messed up.
You might want to consider coming together.
I'm not gonna lie, you know, that's not a speech that generation to generation to generation we should still be having.
How many generations already have had to give this speech?
So I mean, some things are just played out, and that is one of them. So
man, and I never got that speech. The speech I always got was more like because you're black, right? Or not because you're black, but because you're African, you want to make sure that you're representing Africans correctly.
Right.
Like you want to be able to speak well and command a room and, you know, have presence and be intellectual. You know, like it was prioritized differently. It wasn't because it wasn't a speech like your speech.
Right.
It wasn't a speech like your speech. You know, it was like, don't stand around with your mouth open. just random stuff. It wasn't like yours. All right, so diversity of Africans. Let me tell you, call a Nigerian a Ghanaian and a Ghanaian Nigerian.
Now, as far as closeness, they're like brothers, but they're brothers who, you know, don't get along that well sometimes, but they're still brothers, you know. But yeah, they talk about. You want to see a Ghanaian and a Nigerian go at it? Say Nigerian jollof is better to a Ghanaian.
Oh, you didn't say that.
Or say Ghanaian jollof is better to a Nigerian. Yeah, they're going at it. So yeah.
Africans and African Americans are the same people. We were systematically segregated from one another and were stripped of our native language and culture.
Absolutely. Gotta agree with that.
Yeah, I can't even. Yeah. So let's get back into a conversation that we were having before because of what you just said. I think it is so interesting about how our perception of one another has been formed over the years.
Yeah. Black understanding of Africa, you know.
The Black understanding of Africa.
The Black understanding of Africa, you know, that's like safari. I'm going to Africa to go on safari. What part of Africa?
God, somebody just called me and told me that. They were like, I'm coming to Ghana.
Can I go on a safari?
And I actually
can I go on and
I was sitting next to a native Ghanaian and I read it out loud and I looked at her and she laughed and I laughed too because it was kind of funny. And I said, have you ever seen an elephant? And she goes, me? No, why would I have seen an elephant?
Yeah.
I was just like, you're born and raised in Africa. You've never seen an elephant?
You know, it's not like in Coming to America where Eddie Murphy walks by and a little, oh, hello, Baba. No, it's none of that. That's, well, not here at least.
Yeah,
you got to go to.
You have to go.
Sahara or
I'm not even sure.
I don't even know where. You got to go to the Africa part that got elephants. Yeah, it's not this part.
You can go to Mole National Park in Ghana and you can have a safari-like experience. But this mentality, this Black American, and so when we're saying Black, we're just kind of generalizing the Black American experience of saying Africa is a safari. You know what else? Do you remember talking to your cousin? And we were talking about.
I'm not going to say his name either.
Don't say his name. We were talking to some of your family, and they were like,
"There's no white people in Africa."
And I literally looked at him. I was like, "Have you ever heard of South Africa? What do you mean there's no white people in Africa?" And he looked at me and he was like, he didn't even understand what I was saying.
Had no concept of South Africa. and then I heard something today. You know. Are they really Africans or are they Dutch who live in Africa?
Oh my God, that's from Godfrey.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Godfrey, if you're watching right now, I'm going to send you a message. My dad and I caught a comedy show of yours in New York City in like the year 2000 or 2001, somewhere in there. He laughed his behind off so hard on your jokes. And afterwards we stood outside and he wanted to meet you and you met my dad. And when we were leaving, he told me he wanted me to marry you.
So if I see you.
But Godfrey made a really interesting point.
Absolutely. How are they calling themselves Africans?
Because they're kind of like Dutch people who overstayed their visa and never left. Is that?
But no, and he also touched on this too. Now, if we were to have, no, I'm not going to say we. If a Black couple were to have babies in China, and then those babies grew up and they got with more Black people and they had babies. So there's second generation of Black people in China. Are those people now Chinese, even though they're Black? You see, they're Black like this, but they were born 2 generations in China. Are they Chinese or are they still
but wait.
Black?
So in America, because your ancestors' ancestors were Black, we call you African American. But in South Africa, because your ancestors' ancestors were Dutch, you're still South African.
Wow.
Right?
That's privilege. You get to take over somebody's identity like that. Like, we're not Dutch. We're going to be African.
But then that African Americans are not allowed to be Americans. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get the privilege of being labeled an American. We have to subsect you.
Yeah,
we've got to label you. Right.
He's American, but he's Black American.
Oh, this is getting too deep. I don't even know.
Is it too deep?
I think
Is it too deep?
It is. Somebody said that they'll be moving.
I will not move back to South Africa tomorrow if possible. Oh, I would move back. Driving while Black in the USA is fatal. Yes, absolutely.
We've got a lot of people who are talking
Mr.
about.
Shep, you're back. I'm sure cops are cops in any country. No, very different mentality in the U.S. being a police officer. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
For the majority. Lisa GTO, you're back. Even if you do conduct yourself, it does not matter. Most Africans are really not aware of the nuisance of race in the U.S. until they experience it. Yeah, you're right about that.
I agree with that one. Smash that like button. That's right.
Follow the light. Thank you. Smash that like button.
Yeah, please do. If you are enjoying this conversation, or if you're at least enjoying the concept of having the conversation, go ahead and hit like. We really do appreciate it. They divided our land and looted us and made us feel like we were nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the time is over. It's time for us to take back.
Yeah, I think absolutely. You know, I think it's time that as a whole, Black people just stop being under the boot of the oppressor, you know.
That's just interesting because it's also a time where we're starting to see the racial makeup of the world shift. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
The numbers are changing. So.
They really are. Mm-hmm. Well, so we kind of talked about what Americans kind of think of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to point out that it's like a vilification.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Africa is thought of and even what you study in the history books, like it's never prideful. It's not based on the narrative that they were looted or deceived or taken advantage of.
Right.
There are still textbooks that refer to slaves as immigrants. There are politicians who do too.
Who are happy to. No, they weren't happy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Here's something though. Because I get this thing, you hear it a lot about they sold us. And for those people, what do you think was happening while these African countries that they sold you from were doing? They were under colonist rules. They weren't.
Yeah, it's not,
it wasn't like how it is now.
Yeah, even Ghana.
Ghana got its independence in 1957.
That is not that
1950. That's 13 years before I was born.
I think you just dated yourself really.
Wow.
But I mean, it's a young.
That sounds old when I say that. But in perspective,
right?
And they say, "Oh, you haven't been a slave for hundreds of years." Yeah, well, hey, Ghana got its independence in 1957, so that's.
So since
Holy cow!
So in the 400 years that slavery's been going on in America,
yeah,
during that entire time, there are countries here in Africa that have still been under colonist rule.
And you know what?
For all that time.
They didn't teach us that in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They made no mention that, these countries are just getting their independence.
And some still are just getting their independence.
Like, right.
In this millennia. This is Y2K.
So you think about it, you're like, well, okay, we didn't know that. We didn't know they were still under, no idea about.
None of it is included. It's not part of it. Like, Africa is not part of the historical conversation.
I think in 1990, maybe, if they were to show the development of some of these African countries to Black Americans, we would have begun to have a better understanding of what's happening here in Africa. But excuse me, I think so much of has been hidden from us. So much is. I didn't come here expecting to see the kind of development.
You thought you were coming into a bush for real.
The developed part of the bushes, I don't know what that. No, but I'm not that naive. No, I didn't think. No, I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't do my full research on Ghana. And then I was looking. I thought, okay, all right, okay. But then, you get here and you see all this development. You look around and you see all the prosperity that is here, and it's Black people. And you're like, wait a minute, but Africans. But I don't want to say it like that. But it's Black people.
Yeah,
that's how I say it.
As an American, that's what you can see, right?
Yeah, it's like.
I agree with you. It's sad that we still have to give that speech.
Yeah.
All skin folk ain't kin folk. I can't even believe that.
Yeah. What's that guy in the GOP? Tim Scott example.
Wow. The United States, the police pulls over a Black person, they kill him.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It kind of is. The newsreel here right now does not show y'all in the States. That's very.
It's like, hey, and truly, I mean, African countries, like, we need to go get our people because they're not doing right. It's sad.
If slavery is real, show me one book in West African language. Huh?
I don't even get that.
I don't get that. But speaking of books, in case you're wanting to grab one, what was interesting was how books here, history books, represent the slave trade versus how the slave trade is represented in American books.
Very different.
In terms of school books. For that person who just wrote that comment, I suggest as a comparative literature activity, you read about the slave trade in American textbooks and African textbooks, including West African textbooks or Ghanaian textbooks, so that you can comparatively see how the experience has been memorialized.
Yeah.
How about that one? Was that a good answer?
Mind control on both sides.
The notion that we are foreign to each other is dilapidating us as a whole. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we have to throw this out there, right?
Yeah, the French-speaking countries in Africa are still not independent. France still controls them. Exactly. See, we aren't taught that in American history at all.
No, you don't. I mean, if it is, it's a line of the paragraph on Africa.
They don't.
They really don't.
Yeah.
They really don't. Did you think you were going to Zamunda?
Absolutely. Well, no. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Like the bad part of Zamunda. I had no idea, man. I had no idea. But I think that was the thing, You don't know until you get here. And once you're here, you're like, wow, I wish I would have known about this earlier. You'd have more. The experience I got, it was good enough to make me want to come and live here. I mean,
that's a big thing, right? I feel like that's that's a thing.
The dream was always, get your big house in the suburbs and a nice city someplace, and it was like we're in the wrong dream.
That's That was what you saw, right?
Yeah.
So Black American, right? African American, the dream is always to get enough wealth and residual income that you can go back home and live the good life again. Like that was,
there you have it.
That was always
the
dream.
Yeah, but see, it was
you're not even, I feel like Black Americans are not even taught to think that's a possibility.
Right. And I guess being detached from our history, we don't have any place to go to. Mm-hmm. We don't have a place outside of America to recognize as being home where, you can say, oh, your grandparents are from here or there,
because they, the history of people of America, Black and African descendants in America, has been erased purposefully. I mean, like very purposefully erased. So there's no way to connect to that. And it feels like the narrative continues kind of underneath the radar now, where it's like, well, you don't want to go there though. It's just all huts and bush people. No, you don't want to do that. That would be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is a shame, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, for those of you who are watching because you know that our channel is talking about coming and leaving the US, leaving the West, leaving the UK, leaving wherever you are right now, and coming to a place where you can feel like you have a type of freedom you've never had before.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what this is really about. Like, it's about discovering that piece of yourself and finding that opportunity in things. Anyway, African understanding of America.
Their understanding really, it comes from what they see in the media, the TV show Cops and CNN. Bad boys, yeah.
We did not play a good role on that show.
Nice. We get the guest appearance spot too often, Lil Ray Pookie and Earl now.
You said that like you actually know all three of those people. Wow. Okay, keep going now.
I do. I don't know.
But even like CNN right now is like, what is going on?
And to be honest with you, I'll give an example. A young man I met in 2019 while I was here. I was like, oh, you probably want to go to America. It's like, not so much anymore. I was like, really? Why? It was like, oh, the videos, I see them, and I see how they treat the Black man, and I can't see myself getting beat like that. I'm like, and there you have it.
There you have it. First name, last name. Since the Derek Chauvin verdict, 181 Black people have been killed by the police.
That's a damn shame, man.
How?
And wow.
And
first name, last name. That's some crazy stats.
And the number of mass shootings, and they have been covering this in CNN International here, the number of mass shootings in the US.
Since there's been a mass shooting every week, sometimes twice a week, since the Atlanta Asian salon shootings, there's been a mass shooting in the United States every week. Tolerating the intolerable.
Y'all, pack your bags and come.
Yeah.
Pack your bags.
I told a friend, we were sitting having lunch, and I said, they teach their kids in America active shooter drills. He looked at me, he's like, what does that mean? I don't understand active shooter. What is that? I said, well, they in grade school and high school, they teach your child how to hide and stay quiet and defend themselves when or if a gunman were to come into the school. And they just looked at me, they're like, why would they teach your kid that? Why would they? I was like, because in America, people go into schools and shoot up the kids and shoot up the teachers. And it's like, that's part of the curriculum to learn that.
Every month we have a drill.
Just like a fire drill.
Yep.
He's looking at me dumbfounded, like, well, why are you teaching your kids that? because America is very violent and there's guns everywhere. That's why. And it's not a good place for black people with all those guns.
And what it does, and I'm trying to articulate this because I want to be very mindful. When we talk about how the history and oppressiveness of hundreds of years of history play out in real time, I want you to really think about, like, what does that do to a kid who's 5 or who's 6 or who's 4, who are all at school having to practice what it's like in case someone comes to shoot you. I want you to think about what it's like to be a Black or brown kid and watch television and never see a person who looks like you in a position of power.
Unless it's the top drug dealer.
That is
and it's position of power in a negative light.
Right. I work with educators, and I can tell you from looking at educational resources, sometimes I see that the person of color is never, they're the ones that need help.
Yeah.
They're never the administrator. They're never, just inadvertently. But that subliminalness of where you sit and the life that you're permitted to have, I think that actually feeds into the misunderstanding and the disconnection when a Black African comes to America and has to navigate this new history that's been put on them because they're Black in America. But also they come with what Americans kind of perceive as arrogance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's because they're coming for education, they're coming for opportunity, and they didn't grow up with the drills and the narratives and the subliminal messaging. And I think that actually feeds into this disconnect and this misconception of what people feel entitled to.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, yeah. And I just want to say, I heard in discussion a psychiatrist say that kids who go through traumatic experiences like an 8-year-old having a classmate get shot and killed, and then go to school and go through an active shooter drill, that child has post-traumatic stress disorder. So a lot of our kids are in need of counseling of some sort and not getting it. And it's like, we don't even recognize what's happening to our kids because of the situations we're raising them in. And at some point we have to stop and cut the cord and say, we have to disconnect this way of thinking. And part of that is recognizing, we are born in a garage, coming out calling ourselves Cadillac Brohams.
You really like that Cadillac.
I do. And what does that mean? That means, we're not living in the right state of mind. We're trying to mimic a culture that isn't ours naturally. I come here, and to be honest with you, 6 months, 8 months, however long we've been here. I don't even know how long we've been here. But I can tell you, I feel so comfortable here. And people, they tell me this all the time. Oh, you're a Ghanaian man. Oh, you're a Ghanaian man. And just getting around to know people, and it's a different experience if I was to go into all black neighborhood. Totally different experience. I've been in all black neighborhood. I never have this openness where I can just go someplace, and no matter who's there, I don't need to know anybody there. I'm going to have a good time by myself with some people I just met, just for the hell of it, and then that's it.
But in that mentality, though,
and hold on, and it's a safe environment where I'm not worried about who don't like them, because nobody's coming in there shooting up any place. Oh my God. And I haven't seen a fight since I've been here. But I want to.
Somebody just asked, would you say it's safer in Ghana?
Yes, it's safer in Ghana. The police aren't trying to beat you up. They aren't trying to beat you. If you're a thief, and they catch you, they'll probably beat you or something like that. If you get caught doing something wrong, you should not be doing. Yeah, they're going to take you to jail, and if you put up a fight, yeah, they'll probably fight you back or something. But hey, if you're just going minding your business, you don't have to worry about, hey, stop, let me see what you're doing, let me see some ID. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff here.
And it's amazing how much anxiety you carry around every day when you're living as a Black American, that you might not even know that you're carrying with you until you get to a place like Ghana, or until you get to a place like the Gambia, or until you get a place, you get to a place where you're not Black. When you first said that to me, it blew my mind.
Yeah. Here, I'm not Black. I'm just a man, because every man is a Black man.
I've always been African, so I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, man,
that means, when I go to the mall, I am the majority. When I go to the grocery store, I'm the majority. When I go to the beach, I am the majority. When you go to the bank. When I go to the bank, I'm the majority. The bank, my business, all of my business meetings are all Black people. It is a beautiful thing. And you forget sometimes, you don't even think about it. Nothing to think about. But in the States, if I go to a business meeting, I'll be the only Black guy there. Maybe a Mexican guy, maybe. Who knows? But it's more on my mind of how I'm going to present myself.
Yeah. I just found out I am working on partnering with a company, and I would be the only Black person represented at the table in a company of more than 30 employees. And I had to really stop and think, is that a place to stand anymore for me? Because there's something about having to stand in a room and always be misrepresented, misunderstood, underrepresented, the only one. There's something to be said about that. Alan wants to say the active shooter drills. Let me tell you, not the thing.
Yeah, right? and Alan W., just to let you know, I tell people about some of the things that happen in the States. They're like, wow, we didn't know this, we didn't know that. But yeah, they don't know. And it's so much misunderstanding on both sides that, we think the way we live in America is normal, and that's how it should. And you go someplace like, dude, why would you live like that?
Yeah. Because you don't know there's options.
There's options.
And I hate to say it again, but when my dad was in the States, he was so clear. He's got Nigerian ancestry and Ghanaian ancestry. He's West African all the way. He was so clear about wanting to come back to Ghana because he felt like here was a place where he could be. And then you could put a period at the end of that sentence. You could just come and be.
Yeah.
And you don't hear it when you're in the States, right? Because you can't see what it's like here. I encourage you guys out there, put any African country on your travel list. Make it happen in the next 12 to 24 months. Come out and experience what it is like to stand in a place where your Blackness is not the only thing about you.
Yeah. It's an empowering feeling to be in the majority. And one thing I can say that since I've been here, I understand that, like, the when I was the African in America, there was a certain thing about them, a certain boldness or pride or something like that. And I understand that a lot more now because there's a lot of power in just being a man here. I don't know if I'm going to explain this the right way, but when you're in the majority and you're not the minority,
you just walk different.
Yeah, you do. You just walk different. It's something. It's like, hey, this us.
Yeah.
And when you're in the minority, you're like, oh, this them. Let me squeak through.
You're in the minority and made to feel shame for your your being.
Right. Good way of putting that.
Yeah. And like here as an existence, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of classism, there's some tribalism.
I'm like, they're like, hey, we heard that. I'm like, no.
There's classism, there's tribalism, there's other things that factor into how you position yourself in not only Ghanaian society, but the society of whichever of the African countries you live in. But it's nothing like how things go there.
Yeah.
It's very scary out here. It's very scary out here in America. Police are killing our people almost every other day.
Yeah, they pass a law of hate in America, but not against Black people. That should tell you how they feel about Black people.
There you go.
Who's been fighting the fight for 400 years.
Well, and it's just this next level, right? It's like every Black person has to feel undermined by their very being when you stand in America. And we talk about America globally as, or America thinks of itself globally as
top tier,
the best place to be, the only place worth existing.
Right.
But at the same time, they marginalize so many. He wants to know.
Is it true that the Africans are told not to mingle or associate with regular Blacks when they come to the U.S.?
So this one is interesting because why are you shaking your head?
Oh, I was answering the question while I'm letting you answer the question.
Okay. A little bit.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say any blanket statements because we're trying not to make generalizations, but yeah, a little bit.
And explain that.
Well, it's twofold. I do think that the portrayal of what Black Americans are like for Africans is one thing, but the other part of that really comes from the immigrant story arc, right? Like your parents came or you've come with a goal and a mission. And it's like, as the first gen immigrant kid, and I think this is universal, whether your parents are immigrants from Latin America, if they're coming from Europe, wherever your immigrant parents have come from, that they want you to pick up the mantle and live this better life. Yeah. So it comes with an assignment. You have to come and get education. You have to come and start entrepreneurial businesses. You are tasked with greatness or success or purpose in a different kind of way. And
hanging with the Black Americans, you know, they just want to party. They're all like Nicki Minaj. They're all and it's like, oh, okay, so you can't hang around with them because you're going to get into all the negative. And yeah, some people do say that.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a thing. What can I say? Are kids not treated with the same compassion as others?
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Lack of empathy.
Absolutely not. And what that looks like in terms of representation of students that are suspended, that are identified to have emotional behavior disorders in schools, is just another sign and symptom. Or graduation rates is another sign or symptom of the problem.
Mm.
So I'm going to put this one up. I don't even know what it says.
Yeah, interesting.
So y'all just gonna ignore the self-accountability we need to hold ourselves to. We do more harm to ourselves than the real issues we need to deal with. Yeah. We have to have conversations, and we have to feel like we can have those conversations. And in having those conversations, we aren't going to be ostracized or penalized or marginalized. So sure. Yes. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm back. You're feeling a sense of peace being there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's stress-free. The only thing stressful is the driving sometimes.
Yeah. Bert says we're screwed up.
Yeah, hey man.
I tell you. They think that we're violent. I think that is in both directions.
Really?
Yeah, I think a little bit of like the American narrative of Africa is that like there's still spears and like on your way to the market, you could get abducted by Boko Haram. Like that. Like there's like a violent kind of undertone. Like there's a civil war.
Well, definitely, I understand it from this part to over there. Right. They're like, oh, everybody over there got guns.
And then on the other way, it's like, yeah,
everybody got spears. No, that's so. Hey, just keeping it real. Just keeping it real.
Don't take any notice of fools. I hear there's a troll in there. I'm sorry about that, guys. I think I just blocked them, so it should be okay. Tiffany wants to know if that's a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is so. To see the women with all the different hairstyles and not be looked at like, oh my God, she's wearing her Afro puffs. I mean, the mohawk.
You can wear your Afro puff, girl. You can wear your Afro puff.
That's the thing, though. There was controversy about a black anchor woman who wore her hair in a mohawk, a puffball mohawk. I see that almost every day here.
Yeah. And in the military, women of color being able to wear natural hair or braids, at school, not meeting dress code, in the workplace, not being socially appropriate, or inviting people to touch you in ways they shouldn't, because they see the wonderful hair and they just want to touch it.
Yeah, and they do. Some places here do African Wear Fridays. You know how that feels. African Wear Fridays at your workplace. So Monday through Friday you might have, or Monday through Thursday you might have a shirt and tie, and Friday you'll come in with something like this from Alpha Freak. Yeah, like casual Friday, African Wear Friday, where you would maybe not wear the hair. That'd be too much for work, but you might be going out after work, so who knows? But this would be casual. This would be African Wear Friday.
I think it.
I love it.
I think that workplaces in the States should be able to start, like, not necessarily African, because that might not be appropriate, but like ethnic wear. Like, wear your. Wear whatever you want to wear to indicate what your heritage is, what your cultural identification is.
Associate that.
That's good. Because I feel like we go very. Like in the States, it's very much about erasing that. Like we don't want to know.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't recognize that.
No, we don't talk about that at work. Which is not a thing. Moving out of America to Africa. Yes, and I want this conversation to eventually get someone to the thought that it is a place you can go to. Yeah, it's a place that you can be in. So I want that to be there. Henry, thank you so much. Thank you so much for
yes, Henry Morton. We appreciate it.
We do, and yeah, we want everyone to know about the beauty all around them, but also to be able to have a conversation about the beauty that you hold within you as well. And that you can come to a place where it's okay for you to be you. As African Americans, it seems like we aren't wanted anywhere, not in America nor in Africa. You're welcome here.
Yeah, hey, to be honest with you, man, my first go round in Africa and Ghana here in 2016, all I heard was, "Oh, this your first time here? Oh, welcome home, my American brother." I was like, wow, everywhere I went.
Yeah. From
the airport we got in, "Oh, this your first time here? Oh, welcome home, my American brother." It's like, okay, cool. Went to Cape Coast. "Oh, this your first time in? Oh, your first time in Africa? Oh, welcome home, my American brother." Oh wow! I was like, "Welcome home." Welcome. And then in 2019, I started to understand more of why they were so welcoming. I'm like, "Dude, you look like you're from the Volta region. Where are you from?"
They say that.
I'm like, "Where you from? Where you from? This your first time here? Oh, you're not from the Volta region?"
They just look at you and they know. You don't have to run a DNA test. They'll tell you.
Yeah, I know. I probably go to the Volta region, and they're like, "Hey, everyone, Kobe in his bag! Kobe, your bag! It's been so long. We miss you all." So, yeah. I have to get out there. Take these people
but what you're saying is right? The narrative you're being told is that you're not wanted. You are wanted.
You are wanted.
This is part of this misconception. And that's why, Tony and I were trying to have this conversation, right? And people heard it and just heard the hate part. It's not about the hate, it's about the misconception. Even watching this video, it's like we want you to feel like you do have a place, because you do.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a place. It just might not be where you expected it to be.
Absolutely.
Westernized thought. Do you think that there's some haters because of just the westernized thinking?
Yes.
We talked about that.
Because you come here and I want it to be like how it is in America. It's not America, sir. You don't get how it is in America. This is Africa. This is Ghana.
Yeah. And some of what you're bringing with that westernization, like,
is that entitlement?
Yeah, we actually just don't want it here. Like the paranoia, the projection of all of the things that you kind of wear because you're Black in America. Like
the one thing that kills me, and I'm going to say this, and I hate saying it.
Oh no, what are you going to say? Remember the disclaimer we said in the beginning. Go ahead.
People talk all the time about, can I bring a gun? Can I bring my gun?
All the time, you people ask us that. Not you people, but other people. Like they're asking.
Why? You got to come here and understand, man. You don't need no gun here. I mean, there's some situations where security personnel, things like that, just regular people, you don't need a gun.
Gun sales are up in America significantly.
I wonder why. But it's safe here, and
that's part of that.
You have to get out of that. Oh, somebody's got a gun on. I need to protect myself. No, none of that. I haven't even seen a fight here. I was going to save this.
You haven't seen any fights.
I haven't seen any fights. I haven't seen any fights. I haven't seen any fights. I saw a lot of arguments, and I'm like,
that's just how we talk. I mean, that's just how we talk.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you never understood. Now that you see Ghanaians have conversations with one another.
Oh, wow, it's about to go down.
No.
You know how like the two dogs are barking on through the gate, and they bark, and then you open the gate, they're like, oh, okay. We'll go our way. That's how it is here. There's no fights or anything. I haven't seen any fights. I haven't heard of any fights.
It's letting us know that you always have to tone it down. Ain't that something? Always gotta tone it down.
And I've noticed like here people are very animated when they talk, and some of their tones, you're like, oh my God, they're arguing over there, but they're just talking.
You can be.
You don't have to tone that down. You just be you.
We just you agree with me? Of course, because
who doesn't agree with you?
Someone is going to be in a ceremony on Wednesday. The only Black guy.
Wow.
Yep, I have been that.
Yeah, know what you mean.
I have been that. Somebody wants us to record a video, if possible, with a police officer around our area. I would have to buy them like 2 pizzas.
Well, I don't know. What do you want to see in that? You just want to see how they are, or they're friendly? I don't know.
Give us more information.
A little more on that.
More information. Did you sell out?
And as your only Black person, your intelligence is not valued or acknowledged. Yeah, you're like the token Black person. You're just here because we need to check that you got a Black person in the box, and you just sit in the corner, be quiet.
In the last 5 years of my professional career, I've had a colleague say to me, "It's like you're not even Black."
Wow.
And it's like, thank you. I think I don't, well,
and it's like, well, where have you been that you haven't been around intelligent, educated, beautiful Black people?
I don't know, but evidently it was shocking to find out that I can read write and speak
without falling down.
At the same time, if you give me gum, it gets a little dangerous.
Oh, wow.
African Americans moving back to motherland, yes, please,
Yes,
please
we need more.
come. Please come. Troy.
Troy Beverly, you're hilarious, man. Thank you. Hey, catch me at the Ghana Improv. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, there's talk about someone with a comedy club coming here. So yeah.
Please send it. I want to come. Let me know.
Yeah, we love good comedy
so
shows.
Good.
Yeah.
Tony, you're right. First time in Ghana and Togo. It's not a cliche. Everyone literally is saying, welcome
home. Welcome home. Where's everyone else?
Yeah, no kidding, right? We are colorful. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Tony, any road rage?
Any road rage? What is road rage? No road rage to talk about.
Unless you're driving in the car with Tony. I'm sorry.
You mean the driver, Tony, not me, Tony, because Tony is a very good driver. Tony is very courteous and professional as a driver. Yeah, she means me.
I told my family I wanted to move to Ghana years ago, and they thought I was crazy.
It's crazy to not want to move to Ghana.
When I told people last year that we were moving to Ghana, that was part of why we started this channel, because people looked at me like we were being sent to the guillotine. It was like, we're
you know what? They were understanding you. Okay, we get it. I'm gonna go build your dad.
Now I realized I had to tell them that my dad was here before they were like, oh.
Well, the people who knew us.
Right.
Yeah, people knew us. But those people were like, Tony, you moving to Ghana? You moving to Africa? What kind of drugs she giving you, man? Tony, blink if you're okay. It was, what is wrong with you, man?
I'm abducting you and taking you.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, they really thought we were crazy moving.
Absolutely. Yeah, the foolishness of guns here in Ghana, like, and why do we get that question so much? Leave it.
Guns.
Shed it.
Yeah.
Someone saying in Japan, the gun thing too there. Yeah, it's, I don't know, this whole conversation about, and it's like that gun is a representation of how you've been conditioned in the States, right?
Yeah. See, that's a good point that he's making. You have a gun in Ghana, you get lynched, they think you are a criminal. That is very correct, because the only time you hear of an incident where a gun is involved, it has to do with criminal activity. Somebody on the motorway at 4:00 in the morning, getting robbed or something.
Why else would you need one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Regis Jamerson, because of you, I want to come and experience Ghana. I know it would be a cultural shock compared to how we are treated here. Yes, it would. I mean, to be honest with you, they don't know I'm not Ghanaian until I open my mouth. Yeah. Just yesterday, was it yesterday? I was trying to park, and I wasn't. How the guy was backing me in, I was doing my own thing, and he started talking to me. And then I didn't respond. So he was louder, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. And I didn't want to tell him because he was all serious, like, I know you hear me. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, I got to get better at when they call him. Listen here, a-hole. You're not parking right. I need to learn when. Yeah, I need to know that. I need to learn. Yeah, because I know. Sorry.
Can you make it as an artist living here?
It depends on how good your artwork is.
I would think if you were marketing that art in America on an American marketplace so that you were able to earn American dollars or Western dollars, do well.
Yeah.
Someone is Black Brazilian, and they keep calling me a white guy. They called me a white lady. I was standing at a store, and I asked for help, and they had to go get the boss.
No, Brody needs help.
No, the girl at the counter turned around and goes, "Madam, there's a white woman here." And I turned around because I was like,
"Oh, where?
I'm the white lady. Wait, what?" So caught the cigar for business. I feel you. I was told that I was too Americanized to. Nope.
No, I'm too Americanized to move back to Ghana. It's the only. Wow. Well, come and find out. I don't know.
It's all good.
They'll rub that right up to you with some banku and fish stew or something. We will get that American out of you.
Yeah, I feel like no, that is not even a thing.
Hi, I'm Leo. Subscribe right now.
That's my boy.
If you have not subscribed yet, please take a second to do that.
Subscribe, hit the like button.
We appreciate that. So we're going to start in our little close sequence here. Are you ready?
Okay.
What are the takeaways from this conversation that we've been having?
Well, let's say race relations are crazy. As you can tell, I mean, we can go on. This is a good start. We can go on and on. I think the more we talk about it, the better understanding we'll have and get from each other.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think that we could never sit down and try to resolve race relations in one live show.
Not going to happen.
Or with one YouTube channel. But hopefully we did get like a little light shed on the misconceptions that people might have on both sides. And that you guys valued us having a conversation as a Black American, as an African American, as people who are in the diaspora who come to an African country, as people who interact and have conversations with not only Americans, but Africans on a regular basis, that we were just bringing a bunch of opinions and misconceptions and beliefs and misunderstandings to you guys. Yeah. So hopefully you do appreciate that.
Yeah, and I just want to say a lot of the content from that video was taken from a couple of people where I could approach them and feel comfortable enough that they were honestly give me their opinion and say, well, let me explain this situation to you. Let me explain, what's happening with business. People are coming here, starting businesses that the people in Ghana, the Ghanaians, have been wanting to do for years, but didn't have the startup capital to do so. They're not liking you. It's just it's like, dang, I want to do what he's doing. I've been wanting to do that for years. So there's a little bit of that. And we have to understand coming here what our place is and how we're affecting things. So we have to be very conscious coming here of our position.
I agree with that. And there are things that you can do to be proactive on being impactful in a positive way and making sure that you're bringing up and not pushing down. But I do have to say that if you are a person who feels marginalized or unseen living your life in the West, you are welcome here in Ghana. Absolutely. And in many of the other countries of Africa, there is a place on the continent where you can feel at home. So just know that.
Ghana is home. And I must say that I am happier here as a man in Ghana than I was as a Black man in Africa.
Yeah,
that's deeper one.
Wait, no, you were happier as a man here in Ghana than you were as a Black man in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up.
No, I'm just a man.
Yeah, so if you just want to be a man, that sounds weird, but yeah,
no title, just happy in the skin you're in.
Yeah. I mean, that's like...
I'm just happy in the skin I'm in here, where I'm not conscious of, I'm the only guy who looks like me. I don't know why they're all staring at me.
Yeah. Somebody saying in America, the African, Haitians, and others separate themselves, and you wish they wouldn't.
Yeah. There's places, Little Haiti and Miami, and everybody has their own.
But you seek people who are like you.
Yeah,
we all do that, when you walk into a room and you're the only woman, you notice that. You look for people who are like you. If you walked into a place and there were a bunch of old people and you were young, you'd be like, where are the young people at? I mean, you gravitate towards people who are like you. And when it comes to cultural sustainability and preserving like heritage, I understand. I mean, as as like, right, as an African person who went to America, like, I understand you want to be around your people because you want to have that cultural experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't get that everywhere. So there is that, right?
Okay.
Cape Town watching, thank you.
I love Africa, the people, the environments, and its many cultures. We are welcome back. We really are.
Yeah, definitely are. Somebody said they entered the chat expecting something different. I'm glad that you found that this was something different.
Yeah.
And then thank you for the informative conversation. Yeah, really appreciate that. Last one here, Queen, you're planning on coming back to Ghana?
First ever in the US.
I started planning on coming back to Ghana the first day you arrived in the US. You're always welcome.
Wow, yeah, that says something.
Yeah, I mean, but you're always welcome. There's a place for you.
Absolutely.
So hopefully you enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I think it's very interesting when we get to talk about how our experiences are different, even though we're together in the same journey. You know, like I feel like I enjoy that. Yeah.
It's always good to watch you in new experiences.
We were going out on a date night the other night, and it's like, that isn't a really good place to sit and talk about cultural awareness and race relations. But I feel like we can do that here in front of all of these people who are going to watch this video. But it was fun. Hey, before we go, one last thing. I really like that shirt.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was just looking at it like.
Oh, you like that? It's fit me well here. Look at that. Oh,
yeah, I do like that shirt.
Yeah.
You
I like
this.
Nicely. Well, thank you. You are looking rather stunning. I must say, I'm digging the earrings. I'm digging the earrings.
Okay, wait, I do have to tell people out there, like, I do not naturally pick the color green. Like, I don't think there's a lot of green in my wardrobe.
No,
and it's been interesting having the Alpha Freak people pick the clothes for me because they pick things that I would not.
And you look amazing in them.
Thanks. So I would never have picked this myself. And then I got it on and I was like,
yeah, you got on. I was like,
so what?
Oh, snap.
So what's coming up on deck for the channel? We are going to be talking about our date night. I think we're having a conversation about that.
Yeah.
We are having a conversation about the water outage.
Followed by the
power outage. And what it's like to live with no water. Yeah. Guess how many days that went on?
Yeah, I think
days,
they said,
not hours.
Yeah,
days.
Last week was the water. This week was the power.
Yo, we didn't even know if we were going to come today. Yeah. We were like, oh.
I think next week the air will be out. So
just all of the air.
Yeah, you can't go outside. There's no air, so you got to stay in, conserve your air. Who knows?
You've been popping into and out of some folks out there reached out to find places that they could stay when they came and made their visit home. Here to Ghana, and you've been scouting hotels for folks.
Yes, I have. That is coming up as well. Not just hotels, nice luxury hotels, or and Tema. Who knew?
Well, because we're Tema folks, y'all.
Yeah, we're trying. We're doing our best.
We're people to Tema.
Yeah,
because you're gonna love it. So we've been looking at places like for people who want to come, they can stay and feel like they're still having that vacation experience.
Yeah.
But it's
that hotel, the hotel you think you would get in Accra, you can get in Tema.
Yeah.
We'll show you. It's coming up.
If there is a topic that you would like us to address, hopefully know more about cultural reparations or race relations.
Or can you buy guns in Ghana?
We don't have any organization. But definitely drop a comment in below. We really do read those and we try to respond to everyone for the first week after we drop a video. Otherwise, every Friday you'll catch us video dropping from us, and the last Friday of every month is when we go live. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you can catch that. What?
You want to talk about the
meetup. One more time.
Talk about the meetup one more time.
One more time.
May 8th is the meetup for the Expat Life Ghana group. Get information on that. You do need to be part of the Facebook group. There's a link. You can You can get information on that. Where's the link? Somewhere on the bottom?
It is. It's in the description box. You can go ahead and head down to the description box. You'll see that. Somebody's asking if Tema is a suburb of Accra.
Basically, yes.
Yes. And then World Peace is wrapping this up nicely. Thanks for the content. Stay well, everyone. Peace.
Peace.
Love and happiness.
All right. So we're done. We're getting out of here.
We are.
Hey, thanks to everybody hanging with us for the live. We really appreciate you guys. If you're in Tema, we will see you at next week at the meet and greet. Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to it. We haven't had one since November. So, oh, wow.
Get in that Facebook group so you can join us.
I want to tell them.
No.
No.
Oh, wait.
What are you thinking?
I think you want to tell them that we're celebrating your. The microphone is right here.
We're so good. That's me. I don't have no sense.
Is that what you wanted to tell them?
Yeah, I wanted to tell them that.
All right, go ahead and tell them.
Okay, so last year I turned 50. Didn't get to celebrate my birthday.
COVID.
So I was gonna have a nice party and all that.
We really were gonna have a really big 50th birthday party for you.
Yeah.
There was gonna be crawfish involved, and for you Southern folks, that's the thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna celebrate my 50th birthday party and throw it in with the meet and greet. So
and there is a pool involved as well. So hello.
Who knows what's gonna happen? I heard it might be popping champagne.
Wait, what? You ordered champagne? There's a budget, man.
Hey.
If you haven't checked out my budget video, you can go ahead and check that one out. So you know what it costs liquor.
Absolutely. You'll know after this party, Tony will be eating Ghana street food for a while. Which is actually pretty good. Oh, okay. Threaten me with eating street food. All right, thanks.
We've got a bunch of people who are wishing you some love.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I'm sure we'll probably have a videographer or something there, and you might get to see a clip.
It'll be all good. We'll get something.
Absolutely.
So yes, thank you very much, everybody who was popping in with us. We really appreciate that. And with that,
hey, Charlie out for now.
We'll see you.